Imagine a girl, barely a teenager, staring into a mirror on a massive film set. She's talking to herself, but no one else is there. Every word, every gesture, has to be repeated hours later, perfectly matched, or the magic shatters. She's exhausted, lonely, and smiling through it all for the camera. This isn't just a story about making a movie. It's about a kid growing up too fast, carrying a dream bigger than she is. She came into the world in the spring of 1946, in a city still healing from war, London. Her home smelled of old scripts and fresh paint from the theater. Her dad was a knight of the stage and screen. Her mom a writer who turned feelings into words that made strangers cry. Acting wasn't a choice, it was the air she breathed. By 12, she was already stealing scenes in a dark little film about a girl who sees too much. Critics called her a wonder. Awards followed. Then a letter came from across the ocean. A man who built castles out of cartoons wanted her. Just like that, she was on a plane to a land of endless sun and impossible dreams. Her first big role, there was a girl who taught a grumpy town to play a game called Glad. She smiled through storms, found light in shadows, and won a golden statue for it, the last one ever given to a child. Audiences fell in love. She became the face of hope in a world that needed it. But the role everyone remembers came next. Twin sisters. One actress. A story about broken homes and secret swaps. She had to be two people at one same face, different souls. Every scene shot twice. Every prop placed with surgical care. One wrong breath and the illusion cracked. She was 14. Most kids that age worry about homework. She worried about matching her own eye line from take to take. The set buzzed with crew, but in the frame, she was alone. Talking to a stand-in who wore her clothes but wasn't her. Laughing at jokes only she could hear. The laughter looked real on screen. Behind the lens, it sometimes felt like crying. The man in charge, the one with the mustache and the quiet voice, watched everything. He didn't shout. He didn't need to. Perfection was the rule. Her hair had to curl just so. Her smile had to stay sweet. Even her interviews were scripted. Be wholesome. Be perfect. Be the girl everyone wanted to take home. But inside, she was changing, growing, wanting things she couldn't name yet. Freedom, mistakes, a chance to mess up and still be okay. If this story touches your heart, please share it. Years later, she fell in love with a man old enough to be her father. He directed films that cut deep into society's skin. He saw something in her the studio never did fire beneath the innocence. They married in a whirlwind. Tongues wagged. Headlines screamed. She didn't care. He gave her wings, even if they were borrowed. Together they made a son bright-eyed, music in his veins. But love built on mentorship frays when the student wants to run. Control clashed with independence. 6 years in, the wings snapped. The divorce was quiet. The lessons were loud. She walked away stronger, sure, ready to write her own lines. Decades passed. The cancer came and went. She beat it with the same grace she brought to every role. Stage lights found her again. So did television. So did life. And still, people stopped her on the street. You're the twin girl, they'd say, eyes shining. Grandparents now, showing the film to their grandkids, passing down the glad game without knowing its name. She smiles when they ask what it was really like. Then she tells the truth. It wasn't magic, she says. It was work. Hard, lonely, beautiful work. I was a kid playing dress-up in a grown-up world. But I learned how to listen to myself, how to hold two truths at once, how to keep going when no one else is in the scene with you. The split-screen tricks, the perfect props, the endless retakes. That was the craft. The real miracle was the heart underneath, the one that understood divorce before she'd ever been in love, the one that knew what it felt like to want your family whole again. She never planned to be an icon. She just wanted to tell stories. And somehow, in the middle of all that pressure and polish, she did. So next time you watch those twins scheme and giggle and cry, remember the girl behind both faces. Remember she was real, flawed, tired, brave, still growing. The movie ends with a wedding. Hers didn't, but her story? It's still being written. And every time someone hits play, she's 14 again, talking to herself in the dark, making magic out of thin air. If this journey moved you, hit that like button. Subscribe for more stories that go beyond the screen. And share this with someone who needs to remember, even the brightest smiles carry shadows. And that's what makes them real.